I remember seeing a saying once, it was attitude equals altitude. It's good, but that's very general. What kind of attitude, right, will determine the kind of altitude you reach. Could be zero altitude because your attitude stinks. Diving straight on into this, the pattern of performance, there are 4 key areas. The first 3, rinse and repeat, becomes the 4th. And the 4th is a habit. That's what we want to build. We want to build championship habits to have a championship life. So when we're looking at the first 3 systems, so your system, the order of things, behavior, and frequency, that in a rinse and repeat format becomes who you are. But let's go on first without fast forwarding and dive into this. This is vital, man. System, the order of things. Like I said in yesterday's video, it means nothing if you're in amazing great shape, if you're going to the gym between 5 and 6:30 at night when your family needs you to have dinner, bath, and put the kids to bed. You're destroying everything. The intention might be sound and true, but you're fucking it up in the order. So the order of things is critical. What is the point and purpose, and what am I doing here? And that ties in very well to this pattern of performance, because what we want to build is a pattern. And inside of that pattern, we want to get the right order of things. So when will you be doing meal prep? When will you be training or exercising? When will you create space? When will you share and communicate and have that transparency with your family on those 3, or what you do, or other areas of their life, or your life? Communicating how their day was, how your day was. The order of things is important. Like, you're laying in bed, and there's no point asking how the day was, and that, like, or causing a riff or a fight. Like, that's the time to sleep. You're in bed. So the order of things in what you do, where you apply yourself, it's vital, man. When it comes to the pattern of performance, if you don't have this in place, you could have the best intentions at heart, everything else will fall down, which is why we start with this one, system. What is the order in what it is that you want to implement and do and improve in your life, in family, self, and service? What does that look like for you? Okay, well, no one enjoys things when they suck at it, right? So when you're bringing something in new, or it's it's misfiring a little bit, you're hit and miss and whatnot, I get that. That's cool. No one's going to fall in love with it on day one, but essentially, you need to really square this away and ask yourself, what is my behavior like when it comes to these different things? When it comes to cleaning, training, washing the dishes, kids, duties with the kids, with sport, picking them up, noise inside of the household. This sounds crazy, right? But one day there won't be that noise. You won't hear your children laughing, screaming, crying, and whinging. That'll be gone. There'll be nothing but silence. Good, Al, I can breathe, I can relax. Yeah, well, don't wish your life away, mate. What I'm talking about here is good, bad, and the ugly. What is your mental attitude or approach? Like I said, you can have the greatest intentions, but if you have the wrong order, it will burn you. But also, if you have the wrong state of mind, you're not going to follow through because there's no value. You are not invested in your behaviors, man, because that is literally the glue between the system, the order of things that you will commit to psychologically, emotionally, and physically, and also following through on that commitment psychologically, emotionally, and physically in the frequency, which is number 3 in what you're doing. Your behavior. Behaviors are very hard to change of others, but we can change it of ourselves very quickly by shifting our perspective. This is yours. This is your right. You own this. Right? You might not always be able to control what's happening to and around you, but you'll 100% always be able to choose how you feel. That doesn't mean you don't get triggered or react. I get that. We all get that. We're human. But what is the distance in time and the space between you having that trigger or reaction internally to actually changing that so it doesn't become the blow up externally? Your behavior is a big part of that. I'm sore. My muscles are sore from training. I haven't trained for ages. Fuck, mate. That's good. You've used your muscles. Well done. Your muscles are sore. You've created micro tears, and now they're going to repair, heal, and recover in a better way than they were the other day. So this is something that we really need to understand, that when we look at life, it's a series of setbacks, hurdles, roadblock. Life's fucking hard. Choose your hard. Do it hard. Be harder than life. And you do that by setting up the right behavior to go, you know what? This is the order and how I'm doing things. This is how I'm going to turn up. I'm going to fucking dominate this training session, not because of intensity, because of technique, because of my breathing, because of my pre-workout routine, because of my post-workout nutrition. I'm going to win today right here. And when you have that behavior playing in your head, your mental attitude, your approach, how you're turning up. I remember seeing a saying once, it was attitude equals altitude. It's good, but that's very general. What kind of attitude, right, will determine the kind of altitude you reach. Could be zero altitude because your attitude stinks. So when it comes to behavior, man, remember, you are 1 in 400 trillion sperm. Like, it's a fucking miracle that we're here right now and I'm speaking these words and you're here listening and watching this. It really is. in the grand scheme of life? Do we always need to get so large and so big or hot and heavy in our perspectives and approach? No, but it's something I can dial in and shift very quickly. It's a big range and a big sweet spot that I have to cut the shit and the stories inside of our head and go, hang on a minute, let's pull it in. Let's start dominating. I want to go in this direction. This is when I'm going to do it. This is the order of these things. And this is my mental attitude and my approach. The frequency, man, not too little, not too much. This is why true power, learn, do, reflect. That last piece, reflect, is so important. Building the vessel, a large part of your intelligence, modern intelligence, is social and self-awareness, is recognizing what your actions led to. Realign your life, build the vessel, frequency. Where is this taking me? How do I feel? It doesn't mean you keep building either. 4 days a week training, fantastic. That's working for me. 2 days a week training and 2 walks. I've turned them into creating space, coupled with reading a book. I'm creating space 4 times a week, 2 walks, 2 books, and I'm training. Beautiful. Like, that's great. The frequency is a really important component, mate, because what that does is it equals the results and it equals the level of investment, not just mentally, but physically, that you should be putting into something. Honey and handsome time. This is the crazy part when it comes to connecting with your wife. We'll go through this in the next couple of days, but you got 1,000 minutes a day. That's 7,000 minutes a week. I have honey and handsome time with Corinne 2, maybe 3 times a week max. So you start to play the percentages and go, all right, I have honey and handsome time 2 to 3 times a week max, 60 to 90 minutes, an hour to an hour and a half max. Okay, so let's say 3 hours a week. So 3 hours a week, 60 minutes, 180 minutes. So 180 minutes out of 7,000 minutes a week is for my wife, solely and presently, just with her. And we're going out to breakfast or lunch or brunch or nighttime. It could be anything. It's not date night. It's not just having sex. It's connecting. But that 180 minutes is a massive return on investment for the other 6,820 minutes that is my life awake. This is once you're awake, take away sleep, awake. So 7,000 minutes awake, awake a week. That's on an average of 7 hours and 20 minutes sleeping, gives you 1,000 minutes a day. So it's a nice, easy, rounded number. You might sleep a bit more or less, but man, 3 honey and handsome, that's it. Like, I don't need to sit down and look into my wife's soul every day or look into her eyes every day and just spend 2 hours with her. You don't have, same with your training. Like, you don't need to invest. You're training at a higher threshold, a higher rate, a higher intensity, so you can handle the day-to-day running of life. What makes 90% of life, the day-to-day running. You train 4 or 5 hours a week. That's huge. That's more than enough. So frequency is really important, man, because essentially that's going to start to mold not only your results, but that's going to start to shift and influence your behavior. That's going to solidify or help you identify that you need to change up the order of things a little bit. This system isn't really working. Like, lunchtime is good with training, but it chews into the day. I get home late. Well, I'm only going to train lunchtime once a week because it makes it easier and I can sleep in on the Thursday and I don't have to go to the gym early. This is just so important. Setting up the day, commit to a wake-up time, prime the body and the mind. So no social media, and be present in your environment with your children, with your wife, with yourself. What this stands for, and this is my routine, as soon as I wake up, I get water and I take my mojo and my water, air. I do a short breathing exercise. You're going to get access to this in demos and tutorials. It's 2 to 3 seconds out and then out through the mouth. 2 to 3 seconds in through the nose, explosive through the mouth times 30. Again, we'll have examples on this, coupled with your daily plan download. Water, I get blood flow. So whether it's stretch, train, mobility, all of that. Blessings. I straight away look to connect with my wife, my kids, myself if I'm doing some journaling, anything else. I connect mentally and emotionally, and then I connect physically. Connection. So when you're priming the body, water, air, blood, blessings, connection. I'm hydrating myself right away. You haven't drank anything for 6 to 8 hours. Hydrate right away. Awesome. Breathing. Doing that 30 reps. Right? That's the Tumo method. That's a powerful way to prime your body and get you in the right state and get the blood flowing, coupled with your mobility, stretching, or training routine. You're an organism. Like, look after the organism so this can do what it needs to do. Or this, your head, your heart, your consciousness can go, I'm the fucking man. I'm going to dominate today because I'm looking after, off the back of yesterday, day 2, the energy protocol of the vessel of life, which is the body. Water, air, blood, blessings. What am I grateful for? I'm so blessed to have this opportunity to serve thousands of men across the country. It doesn't have to just be my family. And then connect, start that, build that connection. What am I really lucky to have right here and now? And then connect to that. That's Al. That's what Al does. No social media. Be present in the now. Commit to a wake-up time. Prime the body, and then set your declarations for the day. This is for you, man. The daily plan. You'll have access to this to download it. Set your declaration in family, self, service. What's your MIT? What's your most important thing in those key areas? You only need to focus on one, the one greatest thing from which everything else becomes easier or unnecessary, or there's a better result off the back of the one thing inside of family, self, and service. That's how you set up the day. And before you know it, you've already got 10 plus wins. And you recognize that they are your victories. No one can take them away from you.